We are going to talk about law of cosines today. And I do have two versions of the law of cosines. I'm going to talk about when to use each one, why we have two, and kind of show you how to use each one too. So the original law of cosines is this one in the rectangle. And this, because it's with a squared on one side and everything else on the other side, the first one is great for finding side A, the second one is great for finding side B, and the third one is great for finding side C. So these are the versions you would use when finding sides. If you take and rearrange this, it would look like this. So this is an alternative version of the law of cosines where it's more solved for angle A. So it's easier if you want to find angle A, B, or C to use these. So they are the same law, just different versions, kind of rearranged. And this you would use when finding angles. In my class, you don't have to have these memorized, so you just have to know how to use them. There are two different instances when we will use the law of cosines. The first one is if you know all three sides of a triangle. The second one is if it's a SAS triangle, which means you know two sides and an included angle. I will have an example for SAS coming up. My first example is an SSS. It means you know three of the sides, all three sides, and we're going to solve the triangle. Solve the triangle means find the unknown things, and so we would be finding all three angles because we don't know any of the angles. You don't have to draw a picture ever, and my pictures aren't to scale, but this would be a picture you could draw just to kind of have a picture to go along with the problem. So because it is a side, 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 SSS, it's law of cosines, I'm going to find the angles, and I said to use this when you're finding sides and use this when you're finding angles, so I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to go for angle A first. You could go for any of them. I'm going to go for A. So it's B squared, 19 squared, plus C squared, 14 squared, minus A squared is 8 squared, all over 2 times 19 times 14. So this is going to help us find angle A. With order of operations, you want to make sure that you do the entire numerator together and divide by the entire denominator. So that's where I'm going to put in my parentheses when I type it in. And what I get there is, 0.9267. And that's what cosine of A is. So the second step to this one would be cosine inverse to find the angle. And what I like to do in my calculator is do cosine inverse of second answer to get the entire answer, not rounded down here, and then I get that angle. It's 22.08 degrees. When you start with law of cosines on a problem, you should continue with law of cosines throughout the whole problem. So now I'm going to find B. I'm just going to repeat this using the cosine of B formula. So cosine of B equals 8 squared plus 14 squared minus 19 squared over 2 times 8 times 14. And I will do all that and then cosine inverse. And for angle B, I got 116.80. Angle C, you could use that third formula, or you can use the fact that angles of a triangle add up to 180. So then you just subtract the 2 that you already found. So it'd be 180 minus 22.08 minus, 116.8. 41.12.